Hey guys, it's Casey with Wire Everything. So this video isn't about any one product specifically, even though I have a few on the table here. This is actually to show you a service I provide that isn't expressly mentioned on the website. I probably should work on a way to present this. I just hate having to have so many things listed and then it's literally redundant because what we're talking about is a difference of wire material. So normally, most of my products are made from TXL. And TXL is this wire. This is your normal, sort of like OEM wire, except it's thinner jacketed, which is a higher quality jacket, more resistant, a little bit lighter weight, but it's the same gauge, same type of wires, the stuff your car was made from the factory. So, um, and it works. This is what the bulk of my stuff is made from. It keeps it affordable. It's very long lasting. We've never had any issues with failure, and it is higher quality wire than what your car came with. Super flexible. It's good stuff. So what I'm showing you here is what's called Tefzel, and this is mil-spec wire. This is the same wire race cars are wired with, rally cars, believe it or not, missiles and satellites. Like the price on this fluctuates a lot because it's a commodity we compete with the military complex for. So anytime there's tariffs or stuff like this, the price on this tends to change quite a bit. So it's harder to keep the pricing similar. I do tend to invoice through email for these things, but a couple of them, like this harness, are on the website at a set price. So this is the ePass integration harness. It's just like the regular one that we sell for $199 made out of TXL, except this one is made from a thicker gauge Tefzel. This is 6 gauge instead of 8 gauge. Its specifications are essentially the same, right? I don't use the Tefzel for the power lead because this motorsports battery cable is much more flexible than this stuff is. It is flexible, but it's not going to go into your fuse box quite as easily. So why do I offer this version of the product? Well, at one point, several years ago, this used to be the only thing I made anything out of. And at some point, we had issues with tariffs and different things that drove the supply chain up. And a spool of 250 foot of this 6 gauge stuff went from about 800 bucks to about 1500. And I stopped being able to maintain my price points. And there was no way I could just have roving, ever-changing prices that changed with the price of Tefzel. And you can always know it's Tefzel because it's rated. It tells you right there what the rating is, which tells you the gauge, the type. So this is 6 gauge, and it's the 16 variety, and that's the part number. So anytime you're like, man, this wire looks thin, I don't think this is what Casey said it is. Well, all you got to do is look at the part number printed on the wire, and you can see that it is in fact. Like this is a 10 gauge wire, but a lot of people think it's 12 when they see it, but it says 10 gauge right there on the wire. So anyhow, so why do I still offer versions of this harness in Tefzel? Well, a lot of people like it. They like the rating, they like the specification of the wire, and they like knowing that this wire is likely going to outlast the car. TXL will last the life of the car in most cases. It's not like we have 20-year-old cars out there with the wire harnesses rotting out. They do need service sometimes, but they certainly still start and drive every day. This stuff's just going to last longer. It's made to a higher rating. And there's not a whole lot to say about it other than that. It's just higher quality. And with the higher quality, we use the Raychem heat shrink. And it gives a lot of people just like it. They like having nice things. They're putting a lot of money into these cars and they want to take the next step and use something that's just a little higher quality. So this is an ePass integration harness. This is for 05 to 10 Mustangs to do an ePass swap. This customer also wanted a front mount Stewart EMP harness, so I made that for him out of Tefzel. It's 10 gauge and it's perfectly adequate for the pump. I use the same materials, meaning the same fuse holders, the same loom, the same 3M high temp ring terminals, the same SCL And it's adhesive lined heat shrink for this stuff that I do just like when I build it with TXL. The difference is the wire in most cases. There might be a little change here or there, but in almost all cases, the difference is just the wire. So this guy, because of the cost of the wire, is $329 for the 6 gauge. It is thicker gauge too. So like I said, there are sometimes spec differences on this EPAS integration harness. It is $329 versus $199 for the TXL version. It is well worth the cost, and it does have a lifetime warranty. This is the resistor delete harness for the cooling fan that's become very popular. And again, it's the exact same harness, same specs, same gauge, everything. The guy just wanted it made from Tefzel, and I said, you know what, I can do that for you. So that's pretty much it. This is just, it's an option when you have a product made. If you want to step up to the Tefzel wire, to the military spec wire, or Mil-spec as they call it in the industry, I can do that. There will be a price difference, but it's usually not terrible. It does depend on if you want the specs changed. Like part of the cost difference here wasn't just the wire difference, it was the gauge thickness. It went from 8 gauge to 6 gauge, which does cost a little bit more money. So that's pretty much it. I'm just letting you know you guys have options. If you remember when Wire Everything was Race Car Services, everything I made was Tefzel, and it was great. I wish I could still do that, but in order to stay competitive and bring these things at prices that people can afford and give you a product that's as good or better than the wire your car was made from, I do use TXL, and it's been good. So we always have the choice. We've got the Motorsports battery cable, we got the Tefzel, we got the TXL. So any product that you see that you want made a little bit nicer or a little bit higher quality wire, all you got to do is shoot me an email, reach out through the chat function. You can find me on Facebook, YouTube, anywhere you want to reach out, we can have the conversation. I can invoice via email. You can do this with your custom projects or anything else. So give us a like, share, follow. Remember, Wire Everything is here to support the community. You always have me for tech support, and I will do my best to keep you guys happy and keep your cars on the road and your custom dreams alive. Thank you.